Hello and welcome back to Old Rope Salvage. It's a slightly unusual start to our vlog this week, and that's because it's been a little bit of an unusual week. Some of you might have noticed that this is episode number 13. So it's been a 13 kind of week and it's a 13 kind of episode, and that's because this happened.
Long streams blazing from a million miles away. Same old sun shining just another day. My own destruction is a mind that's always off to wander. Silly thoughts of love. Were we made to love another? Same old sun looking down, showing what we need. Thoughts are long and interrupting on my blessed sleep. Same old sun, what has it done?
You saw us, I think we were getting on pretty well with the sandblasting. We had our tent set up, which was just about holding up, and everything was kind of going okay, except for the slightly rainy, windy weather. And then a few things started to go wrong. First of all, the compressor broke, so Tim clamped it back together, and then the leg on the hopper broke, so Tim welded that back on. And then Tim got something in his eye, and we ended up at the eye hospital. And then finally the van broke down. So we got it towed back to the barn, thanks to Ethan and the lads for being absolute heroes and turning up with a tow bar. Thanks guys. And Tim started to take it apart, and it turns out it's pretty serious. So in the meantime, we're now having to walk to the workshop. Tim's gone on ahead today. I'm just catching up now with the lunch. And yeah, it's a 3-mile walk. Commute is a little bit different at the moment. So hopefully I'm going to go to the barn. We're going to see if we can get things a little bit sorted. So I'll take you on my commute. Welcome to Cornwall.
Shed the tears and strap it tight. I got all mad. Same old sun, what has it done? Shining down on me. Same old sun, what has it done? Shining down on me.
So while I get on with my hike, I'll let you catch up with Tim, see where he's at, and I'll catch up with you when I get to work. See you soon.
What has it done? Shining down on me.
Carnage.
So here we are, arriving at our barn on a farm. Going through the fields of barley. I'm absolutely boiling, but I've been waiting all winter to complain about how hot I am, so there it is. So let's go and see how Tim's doing. Oh, there he is! It's like you knew I was coming.
Hey!
I'm a bit sweaty.
See the wreckage.
Oh. So I made it, and this is what I turned up to. Episode number 13. What happened here then?
Well, the wind blew from over there, and I opened the doors, and the wind removed the tent. Also, there was some comings and goings because Minnie had to come out. Fan's been put back in that position. Yeah, so I lifted the sides up. One step forward, 3 steps back. There we go.
So it looks like we're going to be building another tent. But don't worry, because it's all gravy.
God, where's the tent gone? Where has the tent gone? We're back here again, and we're back in exactly the same position we left you last time. We've lost 2.5 weeks of time. Magically, it disappeared. Unfortunately, we've run into a couple of little problems. Number one, the van broke. The van, we were driving along, we were parking up, and clonk! Initially, I thought that the clutch had disintegrated, but as it turns out,
if only it was the clutch.
if only, it's the worst one. The cam belt snapped. This is Albie the van. He's very poorly. He's got a cam belt problem. Hello? I think he's dead. So we've decided, rather than get that immediately back on the road, Lisa's Mini's been sitting in here quite a while, and we haven't been getting that on the road because we couldn't really afford it and we just didn't need the 2 cars. We've decided to put the Mini back on the road and work on the van when we can.
Yeah, the van was going to be a long, expensive job, and we were at a stage with the cab, as you might remember from the last video, where we'd just done the sandblasting, and it was at its most vulnerable point where time was of the essence and we really wanted to get some paint on it as soon as possible.
We didn't want to leave it like this too long with the weather because it can flash rust and start going rusty basically. Yeah, we were one day away from painting the primer on it. Literally, it was the last details we had to work on.
We do want to keep the van, so we are going to get it back on the road, but it's going to take some time. So the quickest thing was getting the Mini back on the road, just needed a couple of new tyres and an MOT.
That's Murphy.
Murphy!
So it was only not too much.
Yeah.
But saying that, it still has taken us over 2 weeks from the point of break-in to getting the car back on the road.
And we've had to walk backwards and forwards every day to the barn during that time, which is about 3 miles in either direction along the coastal path, which is very nice.
It's
but
hilly.
Of course, it's been like 30 degrees in the shade. So.
Yeah, it's an hour's hard walk each way.
Yeah. And we've had the heat wave in all the time that we wanted to be painting the cab, and now we've got the wheels back on the road and transport. It's raining again.
And the other thing that happens, in the very short time it took to get the Mini out and get the van back in and push this out of the way, the wind was blowing pretty bad and it demolished our tent.
Are you right in there?
So we like the tent, we think it's really good, it works fabulously. So in this episode we're going to be working on the Mark II version.
Yeah, we're going to rebuild it bigger and better than ever before. It's more expensive than ever before as well. But we figured it's going to be, we've been sort of donated a gazebo frame, which is brilliant, which means that we can actually
just the frame, like
just
no
the
roof.
frame, which means we can actually move it around, which will be really helpful when we come to doing the chassis on the truck. We can actually move it over it. So we've decided to invest in some transparent tarpaulin.
Thicker plastic.
So the last couple of weeks has been a lot of head scratching, a lot of walking backwards and forwards, a lot of trying to undo bolts on our daily drivers and getting MOTs done. And finally, now we're back in work, ready to rebuild this tent.
Yes.
And get this cab into some paint.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Get the cab on.
I'll get the generator, you get the tea bags. You'll wear yourself out.
Oh yeah. I need a pasty. Where's my pasty?
You wait for all those magic things that YouTube happens where you magically get them. Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Oh, thanks very much, Cornish Pod, for your delicious pasties. Proper job. Say that we were going to start putting this tent up, but that was about 3 hours ago, and then we went and got a pasty, and then I had a sort of a pasty slump, and now I feel like I need a nap. Anyway, we've got a tarpaulin, so let's check it out. Oh, if Tomac is watching this, I just want to say, tarpaulin.
Look at that! Look at the bag.
Yeah.
It's got a special bag with an eyelet.
That's why it costs so much money. These are the moments of high excitement around here at the moment.
This is a 3 metre square, so we've got some 3 metre by 2.5 metres. Hopefully that should be enough for the side, and then because of the eyelets we can string them together. What's it feel like? It's plasticky. Green light come in. Alright, let's get it up. Wow. Let me give him a second. That's very cool.
Perfect!
Wow. We only got one because we were a little bit worried whether it's actually the size printed on the bag. Lots of Tarpaulin always says that it's actually smaller than you, so it is the size they say it is. Right, we need 3 more of these and a roof.
We are getting on with this tent, which is taking a really long time because Tim wants it all absolutely perfect this time and it's never going to fall down. So we've actually put some like wooden battens around the top bits, so the roof should lie nice and flat and square and everything. Oh, we got some bungees to tie it on with, I think.
Alright, so I wanted some bungees, and you know what happens sometimes, you see something on eBay, and I've heard this story about someone going, oh, they bought a nice cupboard, turns out it's for a dollhouse. I feel like that's happened to me now. 10 bungee cords. Yeah, I was a little bit surprised at the packet. I should have read the descriptions, the details a bit closer.
Maybe the price gave it away.
Yeah, a pack of 10 bungee cords.
For 50p.
A nice t-shirt, where'd you get that?
Oh yeah. Oh, nice t-shirt yourself. Where'd you get that?
Well, I got this off our website.
Oh, I got this off of our website too.
Wow, that's cool.
Wow, must be a cool place to shop. salvage.co.uk.
Wastelands are cruel and mean, ragged old weeds and scrub oak trees. Pass along, little I know, an educated mind of a 13-year-old. Like your catfish smacking, you serve it on a platter. You like the truth, I reckon. You serve it on a platter. My heart was just for breaking. I served it on a platter. Truth is for the taking.
Alright, the weird thing is, it's like dark in here, but it's actually light in there. Can you hear me over the sound of the summer rain? Oh yeah, cool, come in.
Yeah, the plastic on the inside is blown around more than the...
Yeah, this is definitely much better.
I think this might last a bit longer. So we finished building the tent, tent Mark II. So it's much stronger now with the tarpaulin, the clear tarpaulin, and hopefully this will last for a much longer time. It was storm ever the last couple of days and it stayed up. It was a bit like noisy, but it's kind of stayed really good, so we're quite optimistic. So we've got it on a gazebo frame, and we've got right over the roof of the tarpaulin. We've got it all fixed with these bungees everywhere. It needs a little bit of tweaking, but it's kind of weighted down at the bottom. We had wooden battens that we attached to it as well to keep it all nice and square. We've drilled, screwed in with washers to hold it really tight. And then we've got, Tim's rigged up his big extractor fan in here. So we've cut a really nice hole out on the inside, put the extractor fan in the end, put a little tunnel so we can keep the doors kind of quite tightly closed, and just have this poking out with a nice filter on it so we don't pollute the cornwall too much. And what looks rather to me like a guillotine that it's standing on, but it's also secured in various other places. So it's looking pretty good. We've only lost a month.
3 weeks.
We've lost 3 weeks of time, but in a way trying to convince ourselves maybe over the long term it was a bit of a blessing in disguise, because it means that we've got this much better tent now, and it should last hopefully the duration of the entire build.
Let's have a look inside.
Yeah.
Go on.
So nice and strong.
Look, lots of framework for all the dust to sit on. We'll have to blow that off.
Even raised it up a little bit to make it slightly higher, so we can get up on a little bit of a step ladder, so we can sandblast down on the roof. And yeah, the extractor fan here with the flap that we pull down when we were using it. So we'll see that in action really soon. So yeah, it's kind of back to the sandblasting then, I guess.
Yeah, so in the end it's turned out that it's probably been sort of about 3 weeks. And as we said in a previous video, it was really paramount that we get this in paint as quickly as possible. So I did what I could. I wrapped it up, we put some, I don't know, some silica gel type stuff to try and take out a bit of moisture. But and it was all right actually for the first couple of weeks, but this last week it's been really, really bad weather in it. Yeah, so yeah, some people would still, we could sand it off a little bit and paint it, but I think we're going to try and get it back to how it was again. So it might only be that we just have to blow it over quite quickly with a sandblaster. Well, obviously I've done most of the hard work and got out all the rust and all the paint off it, and it's not the end of the world. But I'd nearly finished. I only had a little bit on the parcel shelf and a bit at the back there to do, and we were ready for paint. But now we've got the new tent. So Monday morning we're going to get back and like finish the job we started. It's got quite a nice orange sheen on it. Oh yeah, it's made my fingers go orange. Just forgot to put the microphone on.
Yeah.
We have this microphone for you people so that we can try and cut out a little bit of road noise.
Yeah.
I don't know if that makes a difference.
And
or
that's
not.
the second time in this video that we've actually forgotten to put the microphone on, which kind of sums up the mood of this particular video, number 13, I think.
Right, let's start again from the beginning.
Okay, so we did, because we've had a bit of a run of bad luck recently and we've been really set back with time, we've lost about 3 weeks, we thought this would be a good point just to bring something up that was mentioned in our comments a little while ago by someone called Guy, I think. Hi Guy. And he said that the one bit of advice that he'd give us was about sort of setting out a plan really, because it's such a big project that we're doing that we can easily get overwhelmed. So we just wanted to maybe talk about that a little bit, about how we do manage big projects and how we manage our own expectations of what we can achieve and in what time frame and everything.
Yeah, I think it's not until people have tried it a couple of times, whether it's like a house build, an extension, a refurbishment, or a boat, or a car. It's very difficult sometimes to keep the motivation going on the project. It helps if you have a plan with your financial amounts of money you've got, the time you've got to put in, a place to be able to do what you need to do, and also probably most important is keeping your enthusiasm going and your own expectations of what you have for the project. Because unlike something smaller where you're just putting up some shelves, you have this almost instant gratification. You spend a bit of time, you make something, you see it. And on a large project like this, you can go quite a long time sometimes without actually it looking like you've done anything. And that can be quite demoralising and hard work. How do we manage it? I suppose I've just done quite a few of this sort of thing and I know how it is. and I do have my eye on the end goal, but without trying to be at the end. One of the difficult things that people have, I think, is if you see yourself being in another place that isn't here. That sounds really weird, but for a van build, if you're desperate to be out traveling, then you can sometimes like resent the time that you're spending building the van. And equally, if you're a house, if you just really want to be living in it and you want to be having your friends around, you can't wait for that to happen. So you actually don't have enjoyment for the actual project. I think we're both lucky because we actually really enjoy the process of the build, the planning, and the work involved in it, and we really like doing that.
Yeah, I think because we are both creatives with creative backgrounds, and this is really what we do now, we're kind of in this project for the project's sake, really. So although obviously we do look ahead and we think, what do we want our end goal to be, where do we want to go in the future, we don't dwell on that too much. We kind of do take it week by week, really, and stage by stage. So it's like when we were dismantling the cab, we were just thinking about dismantling the cab. Now we're supposedly, hopefully, getting back to the sandblasting. We're just thinking about the sandblasting and thinking 1 or 2 steps ahead, really, just for the sake of what we need to order in advance and kind of be prepared for. But I think for both of us, it is about learning to really enjoy the moment that you're in. And although that can be really difficult sometimes when you have setbacks, I think we both are experienced enough in life and in other projects that we've done to know that the setbacks is kind of part of the process, and it is all about, in the end, it's like triumph over disaster, and that's kind of the journey.
Yeah,
so,
well, losing 3 weeks where we are at this moment is
not great.
It's not great, and it can really be quite annoying. But we're just going to have to be a little bit, I don't know, get over it, and look forward to getting back on it again. You can't allow these things to sort of really upset you too much. And it's been disappointing. But Monday morning we'll be back in here and we'll be working hard.
Yeah, and hopefully, if things go well from now on, we'll have this thing sandblasted in a few days. We'll be getting onto the body filler in and getting into primer, and then so
as far as anyone else doing a big project build, what kind of advice can you give someone?
Well, I think for me, what I've learned is that I've never really been a particularly patient person. I do like to kind of get on with stuff, and I like to see results and everything. But I think over time I have learned to be a patient person and learned to take things one step at a time and not to kind of get overwhelmed by thinking too far ahead by all the things that have to be done, because it's just too much. You can't do that. You have to just focus on what you're doing.
Yeah, obviously, like people would say, if you're undertaking a bigger project, you need to kind of know how you're going to work your finances, how you're going to work your time. Everything will always take 2 or 3 times what you think it will take. But other than the biggest one, really, is keeping your mind interested in what you're doing, and that's the one that is a difficult one, I think. And I'd suggest maybe do some smaller projects first. I don't know.
See how that works out.
Break it up. We on this we've kind of broke it up into 2 major parts. The first part is to restore the truck and get that back and running, and then the second part is to build the habitation part of it, and then to fit that out. And within that, there are certain other bits. We've broken up the actual restoration of the truck into the cab as being one part of it, and the sort of the chassis and the engine into another part.
Yeah.
And it gives you more manageable pieces, which you can kind of not that you're ticking off, but that you know that you're working in the right direction. But it's I don't know. Maybe we'll see what happens if we're still here in a year's time. Hopefully not still here in a year's time with this, because this is going to be pretty brown by then. It's going to be rusty.
Yeah. But I just want to say that everyone who does send messages of support and is kind of following us on this journey, just thank you so much, because actually it really, really does make a huge difference to us to have that support, and it is a huge motivation to us. Making these videos and getting your feedback and your encouragement just is brilliant.
Yeah.
It makes a big difference. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really good. Thank you very much
if
for
you're
the
doing
comments.
a project, make videos.
Yeah, well that's actually a really good idea as well. Yeah.
I think documenting what you're doing, actually, even if you don't make videos, maybe keep a journal, you know, or a blog or whatever, even if it's just for yourself. You can look back and see how you're progressing, and even if you feel like you haven't been progressing, you only have to look back at where you were a couple of months earlier and you realise just how much you've achieved. And it's quite surprising actually. So that's one of my tips, is to keep a record of
photos,
whatever
video,
way.
whatever, anything. Yeah.
Anyway, I think that's probably it for this week.
Yeah. When we learn more stuff, we'll let you know what we've learned.
Yeah, we'll be back in a couple of weeks, hopefully with the sandblasting all sort of underway and hopefully finished. We'll hopefully be doing body fillering.
Less concussion. Less bad eyes.
Yeah, less broken down vehicles.
I can still see a dead fan there. Block it out. Can't see it. Dead fan.
In the meantime, just pray for good weather for us, please.
Yeah. Well, see you later.
Okay, well, thanks for watching.
Thanks very much for watching. Oh, good. Thanks.
Shining down,
Home.
shining down.
Look downhill now. 1 day's work. Treacherous. Back in traffic.
So, how's your commute today?
It's not raining.